Welcome back to the Deep Dive. We're here to cut through the noise, get straight to the insights that really make a difference. Today, we've got something pretty fascinating lined up. We're kind of bridging the gap between timeless wisdom from a classic success book and, well, one of the toughest arenas out there today, day trading. Okay, let's unpack this.
Yeah, it's a really compelling angle. Our source material for this deep dive comes from excerpts titled Napoleon Hill's Principles for Day Trading Mastery. And what's really insightful, I think, is how it takes these core ideas from Napoleon Hill's, think and grow rich things like mindset, discipline, visualization, persistence, mastering your emotions, and it shows how they're directly, practically relevant to trading psychology. It's about seeing these big principles play out in that very specific, very high pressure market environment.
Right. So our mission today really is to pull out the most potent nuggets of knowledge, the key insights from these sources. We want to show you how these foundational success ideas can genuinely equip you for environments like day trading. It's like offering a path to understanding that critical psychological edge, the thing that really separates successful traders, beyond just their charts and strategies. Let's dive right in. We'll start with the foundation, defining your path and fueling your drive. Hill's principles, as the source lays out, they really kick off with having a clear, almost unwavering intention. And here's where it gets really interesting when you apply that to the chaos of day trading.
Exactly. So the very first principle is definite purpose. For a day trader, this isn't just like, I want to make some money. No, it means getting really granular, defining your goals meticulously. We're talking precise daily profit targets, the absolute maximum risk you'll accept on any single trade, maybe specific monthly income goals. Because, the market constantly throws distractions at you. News pops up, you get FOMO, there's a sudden price jump. Definiteness of purpose is like your anchor. It makes sure every trade you even consider actually lines up with that ultimate goal you set beforehand. It helps you resist those impulsive, often really costly decisions.
That makes total sense. It's like having a compass so you don't just, get swept away. But okay, once you have that clear destination, how do you generate the internal fuel to actually chase it, especially when the market can be so brutal sometimes?
That's where desire comes in. And it's crucial to understand it's not just about wanting the money, although, yeah, that's part of it. Hill's idea here is about cultivating this burning desire, not just for the profits, but for mastering the actual craft of trading. Think about it if you hit a losing streak, which you will, and your only desire is cash. You might just quit. But if your desire is for mastery, for becoming an exceptional, disciplined trader, well, that's the deep internal drive that pulls you through the tough times. You build this by consistently visualizing successful trading days, really internalizing that feeling of satisfaction you get from disciplined execution, not just looking at the profit and loss.
Yeah, and it's interesting how our source material mentions that example daily routine, that pre-market visualization bit. It's not just a mental warm-up, is it? It's actually doing faith, desire, and imagination. It's like setting the emotional and mental stage before the opening bell even rings. Okay, so we set our course, we fuel the engine with desire, but the market inevitably is going to punch back. How do we build that inner fortitude, that mental resilience to kind of weather those storms and keep believing in our approach?
Right, that fortress is built primarily with faith. And Hill connects this very strongly with visualization and belief. See, in trading, your belief gets tested constantly. Market noise, a string of losses, just the sheer uncertainty. It can all erode your confidence. So the application here is to regularly, actively visualize successful trades. See yourself executing your plan confidently, calmly. It's not just daydreaming. You're literally embedding this positive blueprint into your subconscious. It acts as a counterweight to all the external negativity and doubt. Strengthening belief through these mental rehearsals makes a huge difference in staying calm and decisive when things get volatile.
So basically, it's about actively programming yourself for success.
Yeah.
But how do you actually do that, especially when that little voice of doubt starts whispering or maybe shouting?
That is precisely where autosuggestion, self-talk affirmations become such a practical tool. You consciously use these to reinforce the positive trading habits you want and to keep your emotions in check. The source gives a great, very concrete example affirmation. I trade my plan with discipline. I accept small losses as part of winning consistently. It's about deliberately replacing that negative inner chatter with statements that empower you. You're essentially reprogramming your mind's default reaction to market stress.
And it's practical, too. Like you said, the daily routine includes reviewing and reciting affirmations before trading. Plus, that practical implementation tip about writing or listening daily to customized affirmations, that really drives it home. Tailoring them to your specific psychological hurdles makes it a really active personal practice, not just some generic positive thinking thing. Yeah, that makes sense. All right, let's shift gears a bit. We've talked a lot about the internal mindset. Now, what about the external side? The actual application, the execution of strategy. Trading isn't just thinking, right? It's doing. How do we connect those?
That bridge really starts with specialized knowledge. In trading, committing to continuous learning isn't just nice to have, it's absolutely essential. This means really digging deep into trading methodologies, understanding market mechanics, and of course the psychology piece we've been discussing. The source really highlights the value of specializing. Maybe you focus on specific markets like ES futures, the E-mini S&P 500 futures, a big benchmark, or perhaps you concentrate on certain types of trade setups or even specific times of the day. This kind of focus lets you gain much deeper insight. You start to develop a genuine edge because you really understand the nuances of your chosen niche.
Okay, specialized knowledge. That makes sense. But trading feels so systematic,
Mm.
rule-based. Where does something like imagination fit in? Isn't it all about just following the plan?
Imagination is actually vital, but maybe not in the way people first think. It's not about making things up. You use imagination to develop and, importantly, refine your trading strategies. So this means visualizing different market scenarios. What if the market suddenly trends hard? What if it gets choppy and directionless? What if volatility explodes? You mentally rehearse how you'll respond based on your plan. And crucially, you also imagine handling tough situations like drawdowns, calmly and methodically. This builds resilience before you're actually in the heat of the moment, helping you avoid those purely emotional reactions when you take a hit. It's like proactive preparation.
I see. Using imagination for preparedness. But couldn't that lead to getting too creative, maybe straying from the plan? Trading needs discipline, consistency. How do you kind of structure that creativity?
That's the perfect lead-in to organized planning. This is the backbone. It means creating a thoroughly documented trading plan, not just ideas in your head, but a written, almost living document. This plan needs your entry and exit rules, clear risk management strategies, your daily routines like we discussed, and really importantly, a process for reviewing your performance. The whole point is using this structure to consistently, objectively evaluate what you're doing, identify what's working, what's not, make informed adjustments to your strategies, and ultimately build that consistency over time.
Yeah, I can really see how that connects back to the example daily routine again, like defining your daily objectives. That's both definiteness of purpose and organized planning, right?
Exactly.
And then doing those daily trade reviews, figuring out wins and losses objectively, tweaking the plan that's organized planning, and applying your specialized knowledge. It all weaves together.
It really does. Each principle supports the others.
Okay, on to part 4. Navigating challenges, decisiveness, persistence, and collective wisdom. This feels like where we get into the really human side of trading, not just the mechanics, but how to act, how to make choices, and how to keep going.
Absolutely. And it starts with decision making. In the thick of day trading, you have to make decisions quickly. But Hill's principle isn't just about speed. It's about making decisive yet thoughtful decisions. Ones based on your preset criteria from your plan, not driven by fear, greed, or just the noise of the market. And maybe the most critical part, accepting full responsibility for every outcome, win or lose. No blaming your broker, some news event, or market manipulation. That self-accountability is absolutely fundamental if you actually want to learn and improve.
Right, taking ownership. But any tough pursuit involves setbacks. Trading pretty much guarantees them. It sounds straightforward to say refine your process instead of abandoning strategies, but man, that must be incredibly hard when you're facing loss after loss. What's the mental key to sticking with it?
That is the essence of persistence. Its application is all about maintaining resilience through those guaranteed setbacks, drawdowns, losing streaks. The key, or the trick if you like, is to cultivate persistence by actively tracking your progress. You have to notice the small, incremental improvements, even if the P&L isn't great yet. Focus on refining the process, your execution, rather than just ditching a strategy because it had a bad week. Like when you feel that urge for revenge trading after a loss, Hill's persistence reminds you, stick to the plan, analyze the mistake, improve the approach. Don't just chase the money back impulsively.
It's like fighting that instant gratification urge we all have. Now, speaking of struggles, day trading often feels like such a solitary game. Okay, let's unpack this. How does the idea of collaboration, like a mastermind group, fit into what seems like a solo activity?
That's a great point, and the source emphasizes the mastermind group concept is actually really important for traders. It means deliberately seeking out or forming small groups, maybe trading buddies, mentorship circles, or just accountability partners. The goal is to exchange insights, bounce strategy ideas off each other, refine your thinking, and crucially, get emotional support. Trading can be lonely and mentally taxing. Leveraging that collective experience helps you grow faster, maybe learn from someone else's expensive mistake, and it really helps reinforce disciplined behavior when you know someone else is watching or you have to report back. It breaks the isolation.
Hey, look, there it is again in the daily routine, the recommendation to connect weekly or bi-weekly with accountability partners or mentors. It's a perfect practical example of putting the mastermind principle into action to build both persistence and a stronger trading mindset. Okay, finally, part 5, the ultimate edge, emotional mastery. This really feels like the pinnacle, maybe the hardest part, but also the most critical for anyone serious about consistent trading success.
It absolutely is the ultimate edge, I think. This is all about the control and transmutation of emotions. It starts with developing really sharp emotional awareness, being able to recognize when fear or greed or hesitation starts creeping in, those powerful feelings that can just hijack your trading plan. Then the key is to consciously channel that emotional energy, not suppress it, but redirect it into disciplined action according to your plan. It means acknowledging the emotion, okay, I feel fear right now, but not letting it drive your decisions. The goal is to follow your plan regardless of how you feel in the moment, essentially transmuting that raw emotional energy into focus, discipline, and precise execution. It's an active, ongoing practice, definitely not a one and done thing.
And that's reflected so clearly in the daily routine, too. Executing trades based on the plan, actively managing those emotional states, that's decision-making and this core control of emotions working together. Plus that practical implementation tip about daily journaling, writing down your emotional and mental state that directly supports building that crucial self-awareness.
So to wrap it up, what Napoleon Hill's principles for day trading mastery really demonstrates is that these classic teachings from Hill provide this incredibly powerful foundational framework. It's a framework that directly shores up all those critical psychological components you need for trading success. Disciplined execution, emotional resilience that drive for persistent self-improvement, and having unwavering, laser-focused clarity on your purpose.
So what does this all mean for you listening right now? Well, applying these timeless principles really can lift your day trading. It can take it from being maybe reactive, impulsive, driven by the moment, to something truly intentional, disciplined, and strategic. And by doing that, you can significantly boost both your emotional control, which is huge, and your potential for long-term profitability. It creates an edge that, frankly, no software can give you.
And maybe here's a final thought, something provocative for you to consider. Think about how these deep psychological principles, which we've looked at through the lens of high-stakes day trading, how might they apply to other areas of your life? Any area where you face high-stakes decisions, where you need emotional regulation, where sustained, focused effort is required. What other parts of your life could really benefit from this kind of intentional application of mindset and discipline?